We can speak to the General Secretary of RMT now, Mick Lynch. Mick, this is about conditions and pay. This is essentially what we've always been talking about, right, throughout this long-running dispute.
Yeah, and job losses. So this week we've seen the government announce cuts to all of our ticket offices. All our ticket offices will close throughout the country. There'll be de-staffing of stations. Many stations will have nobody at all on them to provide assistance, and they've notified me of 2,300 redundancies. Now, there'll be more in catering, fleet engineering and all sorts of functions on the railway. So the stuff that we've been saying for more than a year, that this is about cuts and a drastic change to the future of the railway, is now coming true, and they've put those negotiations into the companies rather than at national level. So we've got a big campaign in front of us. The public are out supporting us this week. 100,000 people have responded to the consultation on ticket office closures. But we're hoping the government will give the companies permission to come back to the table, and we can work up some solutions and get an agreement. But at the moment, that seems a long way away.
So ticket offices, and then remind us about where we are on pay, the most recent pay offer, which I think was months ago now.
Well, yeah, the most recent pay offer was in April, and we put that to our members while we were balloting for further strike action to get a mandate. We sent them all the document, all 21,000 people that were involved, and they voted 9-1 in favour of strike action, so that was rejected very much. That offer is still floating around somewhere, but the companies have not put it to us again. They've not revised any of their positions. If they want to come back and talk to us, we'll be available to talk to them.
And when was the last time you spoke to either a government minister or one of the train operating companies?
Well, we speak to the train operators every now and again because we have to, because we're still running the railway and there are other issues. But so we are in contact with them. But there are no negotiations. We speak to the companies every day in the workplace, but we haven't spoken to the government about this matter for 6 months or more.
Okay. So what's your message for Mark Harper, the Transport Secretary, this morning?
Well, give the companies a new mandate. Let's facilitate some talks, and let's try and get a deal cooked up that we can try and get back around the table. We're doing that with London Transport right now about what's going on London Underground. We've been in ACAS, the conciliation service, all week. So if we can get the same atmosphere where people are trying to work towards some solutions, perhaps we can do that on National Rail. I'm hoping that maybe London Underground will come up with some proposals that are steps forward, and we can consider that. But if we can do that on both parts of the railway, if you like, we can maybe get some progress.
Yeah, it feels like the public are getting kind of used to this now. They're adjusting to this ongoing industrial dispute, and for your own members, I think it must be about a month's worth of pay at least that they've lost now. I mean, can they afford to carry on taking this kind of industrial action?
Well, nobody can afford to go on strike. You lose a lot of money, and it's quite a tough experience. But our members are fully committed. They voted for this action 3 times, and there are lots of other people in the country that have been involved and are getting involved. We've got the consultants out today. People we thought would never go on strike have been forced to go on strike because of the way that the government's treating them and the way they're getting treated at the workplace. So our members are fully committed, and when you hear that 2,300 of your colleagues are going to be made redundant and there's still no agreement, that emboldens people. So our members will be out today on all these picket lines. They're getting support from the public, as they have done throughout it. So they're fully committed to it, but they want their union to go and get them a deal. I'm determined to do that, along with the rest of the negotiating team. If the government wants to come back to the table or send the talks back to the table, we'll be there waiting to try and work some solutions.
Yeah, and so just remind us very quickly, when does the current mandate run out?
It's running through till October, November time, so there's still plenty of time on that.
Okay. And then you could carry on into next year.
Well,
potentially when there's another general election. Wait for the government to change if it does.
We'll have to get a new mandate. The difference is now that they're trying to do all these things through the companies rather than a national setup. That changes the dispute in some ways because we've got to do multiple sets of negotiations. So it'd be nice to have a framework agreement where we could work that through, but it really is up to the government to allow that to happen and instruct these companies to get back to the table.
Okay.